Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. My name is Colin Simmons. I'm coming to you from Birmingham in the United Kingdom, and it's my absolute pleasure to spend bonfire night with you. And I will tell you all about this opportunity that came my way just around 6 months ago. So you're seeing this right in the early stages of this company as it grows around the world. The company, as you see on the screen, is called 9M. And the tagline, as it says, it helps users achieve financial gain with AI. AI stands for artificial intelligence. Now, a bit about myself. I have a background in home-based business. I've been doing it for over 40 years, building teams around the world. I enjoy working with people all across the world, and that's what I've done for the last 40 years. Outside of that, I have an interest in fitness. I do that a lot right now, and I enjoy, what else do I enjoy? Martial arts as well. So that's a bit about myself. This came my way back in May of this year. And I'll talk more about how this evolved back in May. But before I do, I'm going to be talking about money, finances. So I have to have this disclaimer in place because I'm not qualified to give anybody any financial advice. In fact, it's fair to say I went to the school of hard knocks. Over my years of online business, I've had successes, I've had failures, but I learn all the time. I learn. It's all about doing that due diligence. It's all about looking closely at the opportunity. Not only the rewards that we can get, but the whole opportunity. Who is paying us is a really important part of what I look at these days. So the disclaimer, as it says, is the content and the material I'm going to share with you today is for educational purposes only, because I'm not qualified to give you any financial advice. Even 9M itself, the company itself, is not regulated by any financial authority. The authors are not financial advisors. So this is for entertainment purposes only. And I encourage you to do your own research. Now, when I say research, I don't just mean Google or YouTube. I'm talking real research. I'm talking you're going to look at the licensing that goes on with this company. Is it a real company? Is the CEO a real person? Are they able to deliver what they say they are delivering? That's the kind of research that I employ you to do. Remember always that investments can go up and down. We're talking about money, and most of all, never invest more than you can afford to lose. I'm going to break this presentation into two parts. The first part, to me, is the most important part. And then we're looking at the actual company itself. We're looking at who is going to pay us. Because if this part isn't strong, it doesn't matter how much they're going to pay us on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis. If this part isn't strong, it won't last. And in the online space, that's a familiar picture that we see over and over and over again. So hopefully from this presentation, you'll get a feel that actually this company are doing things the right way. So this company, 9M, so let's look at them to start with. As it says on the screen, it's a rising star in fintech. Fintech stands for financial tech. 9M was founded by former Goldman Sachs executives. Now, Goldman Sachs is a financial banking company out of New York. So the people that are behind 9M are very experienced, very knowledgeable in finance. These guys have teamed up with some very clever scientists from Columbia University, which is also in New York, who understand quantitative engineering. And quantitative engineering is to do with artificial intelligence. So you've got these two groups of people that have teamed together to bring us 9M. Started back in 2021. So they've been testing this system, this computer, since 2021. And here we are today. It was launched on the 21st of May in 2025. Now, their strapline or their mission is to empower everybody with Wall Street level AI investment capabilities. So what does that mean? It means that if you have access to a smartphone, if you have access to the internet, then you have access to their very powerful computer that can work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making you money. In 2025, we live in a very different world to 2015. Very different world. And hopefully you're going to see that now as we go through these slides. So 9M, it works 20, as I said already, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, autonomous decision making. So what does that mean? That means we have a very powerful computer that makes decisions itself. It doesn't rely on a human being sitting there putting in information. It's that powerful. It will learn from its own decisions and it can actually make decisions. Very, very powerful stuff. So this powerful computer, it's called NovaMind. And the first thing I want you to look at when we're looking at due diligence of 9M is this trademark that they have for their powerful computer called NovaMind. That means that nobody else can use the name NovaMind. Nobody else can have this computer. So that for us puts us in a very, very strong position. And having a trademark tells me that they are actually very serious about what they're doing here. So NovaMind, it's sat between two of the most disruptive trends of 2025. On the left, we have, I hope you all recognize the Bitcoin symbol, cryptocurrency. This is a disruptive trend that started back in 2009. It is disrupting the old financial system, the whole banking system. They are running scared of what is going on with cryptocurrency. If you try and buy cryptocurrency using a traditional bank, you'll see how difficult it's now becoming. The thing about this is that they cannot stop the rise, the trend of cryptocurrency. People taking back control of their own finances. Bitcoin started back in 2009 for about a few cents. It was very, very small. And in those days, it was just the computer geeks that knew about Bitcoin. But here we are today. We have companies that buy cryptocurrency. Well, they buy Bitcoin mainly in large amounts. We have countries that now buy Bitcoin in large amounts. So it's now becoming accepted that it's not going anywhere around the world. On the other hand, on the other side, we have AI. I put it to you that over the last 2 years or so, everybody that's watching this presentation has heard of AI, artificial intelligence. It's absolutely everywhere in every industry today. You look at films, you look at music, you look at photography, AI is in there. Social media, it's very difficult to know what you're looking at when you're on social media these days because of AI, artificial intelligence. And all that is, it's a very, very powerful computer that can do the work that we used to do. And I personally think this is absolutely beautiful. That means that we as human beings can do other things. We don't need to work 9 to 5, in my opinion, anymore. We have computers that can work 24/7. That frees us up to do other things. And that's the way I believe it will go in the future, even more so. So let's look a bit more about NovaMind, this powerful, powerful computer. Firstly, it looks nothing like this very cute little computer here. It's going to be a very powerful machine. The first thing I want to point out to you is that 9M own this computer. They're not borrowing it off anybody else, they own it. And that's really important for us. And it powers the first AI-led asset management system where AI doesn't assist decisions, it makes decisions. So what does that mean? This computer is working in the trading industry. It's able to make a trade, look at the results of that trade, and then learn from those results and make another trade. It actually does frequency trading, which is very fast trading. It goes in, it buys the stock, it then sells it very quickly, it makes a profit, bang, off it goes. And it does this without any human beings being involved. In the old days, we all know that the traders, a human being, will be watching multiple screens, watching the news, and they are trading, looking at what's going to happen, and they are trading. A human being has to go to the toilet. A human being has to have a lunch break. This powerful computer works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making profit for us and for itself. It's the mind behind the money. So a bit more about NovaMind. It's able to analyze over 150 financial markets in real time. That's constantly looking at them, constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It can process 3,000 news reports per second. So think about that for a second. 3,000 news reports per second. So as soon as something gets tweeted on X or Twitter or on Facebook, this computer can make a decision on that information that's been processed around the world way faster than any human being can do that. In fact, it can make a portfolio decision in 0.8 milliseconds, which is 100 times faster, well, 100,000 times faster than any human trader. I put this to you that I believe in the years to come, the human traders are going to be completely out of business. They will have to find something else to do because these computers are going to be trading everywhere a whole lot faster. And it can allocate assets across over 1,000 different cryptocurrencies. So in other words, it's a very, very powerful tool that we have access to through 9M. So when you have a very, very powerful tool like NovaMind, 9M needs somebody as the CEO who knows how to take this company forward. So 9M have chosen a guy called Chris Chang. Now, Chris Chang himself is a self-made entrepreneur. He made his millions in the real world, not online like what we're doing. He's done it in the real world. His background, his biggest result, I believe, is his LED lighting company. So back in 2009, when he started this LED lighting company, 2009, everybody had filament lighting. He could see that LED was going to be the future. He could see that it's going to be everywhere. So that's why he formed that company. He got a contract with Fortune 500 companies, including the US government, including the US Navy. He won a contract to supply lighting for all the submarines for the US. You can imagine how big a contract that is. He actually floated the company in 2012 on the stock market, on the NASDAQ, made an absolute fortune. So we have somebody at the head of 9M who knows exactly what's needed with a forward-thinking company that we have in 9M. Now, back to May of this year, myself and some colleagues were going to look at this company, 9M, that was about to launch. So we decided to get all of our contacts together to look at this. And we decided not to do it on Zoom. We decided to let's go to Paris to a nice hotel, get in a room, and all look at this together and decide if we're going to bring this to our communities around the world. Now, Chris Chang heard that we were having this meeting in Paris, and he lives in Los Angeles, by the way. He decided to fly across from Los Angeles to Paris to come and meet us himself. He came with his wife. He came for the whole weekend. Now, that's another clue to your due diligence about 9M. How often do you hear of a CEO that will fly across the world and he'll be there right in front of you? It doesn't, in my own experience, it doesn't happen very often. In the old days, you just get a picture and that'll be it. You don't know if the CEO is real or not. Chris Chang, I've met him multiple times now since May. And I'm not the only one. Most people in this business have met Chris now across the world. So it does give us a good sense of structure, that we have something here that's real, first and foremost. Now, Chris, as I've said, he is an entrepreneur. He doesn't just do his LED lighting company. He likes to invest in whiskey. He likes to invest, coming from Los Angeles, he likes to invest in films. You may have heard of many films that he has invested in. And I've just learned that when you invest in films, when a film is made, it's called post-production. They have to then get that film across the world. That's where people like Chris come involved. They invest, they help that film go around the world, they make an absolute fortune. Some films I know that he's been involved in are things like the Avenger movies, this whole series. You know, there's artificial intelligence in there. The Superman movies, the Star Wars movies, the Men in Black movies, all of those use artificial intelligence. Chris likes artificial intelligence. He's invested in those films, made an absolute fortune. He's now in AI with 9M. He'll make an absolute fortune again. And by doing that, that means that we actually do well as well. So we have somebody at the forefront who knows exactly what he's doing to take this company to the very top. But he's not the only one. We also have another core member, another serious person is Kevin Sheehan. He's the chief architect of 9M. His job is to design and develop NovaMind. So he's got a very, very big job to do. And to make sure that it's in our hands, that it works for us. He's a key player within the whole structure of 9M. Now, I wanted to just share those two people to give you an idea of the structure that 9M has as a company. And this, again, what I'm sharing with you here is very unusual when you're looking at an online business. We have a proper company structure from the CEO downwards. We have a front office, a middle office, and a back office, like a real company, like what you're used to in the traditional world. On the left there, the front office. Many of us have met many of the front office staff, the academy. These people fly around the world constantly teaching people about AI, teaching the people about 9M. Again, some of that's very unusual in the online space is to actually see these people across Asia, across Europe, across Africa. It's very, very special. They have offices all around the world. New York is the headquarters. Los Angeles is the data center. Singapore is operations. Hong Kong is operations. Dubai is planned. I know that India has many, many operational centers as well. So has Africa. So has Europe. Europe is just starting out now. They're looking to have multiple offices across Europe because we have multiple languages over here as well. So we are seeing something right in the early days. And one of the most important slides that I like to share for our due diligence is this one here. Because when you are sending money across the world, you have to have a license to do that. It's called an MSB, a Money Service Business License. Now, 9M have this license. And you are able to actually go and check this license for yourself directly at the source, not 9M, but the US Department of Treasury. Go and see their license. And if you see that, that will give you the confidence that they are doing exactly as they say they're going to do. They also have a futures license as well, registered with the National Futures Association, because they're in that market. Like many companies, they are a registered company. It's very easy to register a company. That doesn't actually mean a lot, but they have it. It's important that they have that. And the real big one is this one here, the SEC STO filing, approved. If you've got any experience online, you'll know that most online platforms will avoid America because of the SEC. And here, 9M have opened the doors, SEC have come in, and they are now approved. Security tokens offering. That is huge. And I would say that is all the due diligence anybody needs to do when you're looking at the validity of 9M. But they're not stopping there. Firstly, before I go on to the next slide, this SEC, 9M even give you a video to show you how to check whether they have this license or not. They give you the company name, 9M AI Group Incorporated. They give you the company number. They give you the government website where you can go and check for yourself to see if this is real. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe 9M. You can go and check it for yourself. Incredible. As I'm about to say, they're not stopping there though, because 9M is to get this in everybody's hands. So they're going to need more licenses across the whole world. And we are just over 6 months old. So Australia has been planned. Obviously, Singapore is under review. It's already done. Canada, MSB license for Canada in preparation. And obviously in the UK, they've got the FCA. We all know how big the FCA is in the UK. They control all the financial services. So 9M are looking to get themselves exempt. So they're going to open the door for the FCA to come in, look at how they operate, and get that exemption license. Massive. That's really all I want to say about the company. So hopefully you've got an idea that this is not your typical online system where you've got somebody who's a CEO, who's got a friend who can build a fancy website. They launch it on the internet, loads of people join, they make loads of money, they get too big, they can't cope, they close it down and run away. I've seen that multiple times in the school of hard knocks. I've seen that. This, I will tell you now, is completely different. So now we understand that the company is strong. Now let's look at the reward. That's really why you're here. You want to say, well, what can 9M do for me? So I'm going to take you through looking at the actual products that 9M offer. Now, the products that they offer are financial products. So I don't expect you to really understand all of this straight off, but just understand we have two funds. The first one is called the Strategy Fund. And I'll tell you the main points about the Strategy Fund that you really want to listen to and understand. It's how much you're going to make on a daily basis is really what you want to know. You put your money to the computer, it makes money for you every single day, and what's the return for you? That's really what you want to know. But a bit of a description of the Strategy Fund is it's a dual asset, no loss mining fund. So what does that mean? Dual asset means there's going to be two assets. So the assets are made up of USDT, and USDT is a stable coin that you find in the crypto world. It's like the US dollar on the internet, if you don't already know. 70% would be USDT, and 30% could be any of the major cryptocurrencies that are available. 9M realized that a lot of people hold cryptocurrency in a wallet. That cryptocurrency goes up and down in value. That's it. You're hoping it goes up really, really high, then you sell it and you make a fortune. That's the goal. But in the meantime, you could use a small amount of that, 30% of your crypto, add it to your USDT, stick it into this fund. It will make money for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what's even better than that is at the end of the staking period, which I'm going to show you now, you actually get back your crypto. The amount of crypto you put in, you get it back. So if that crypto has gone up in value over the term that you've left it there with 9M, well, that's a win-win situation. The rewards in the Strategy Fund are in a token called USDM, and that's our own internal stable coin in 9M. This stable coin, all you need to know about that is that 1 USDM is equal to $1. That's all you need to know. So the terms that we have 5 different terms, ranging from 7 days, and that's ideally for somebody that just wants to test it. They're going, okay, I'll give my money to Novamind for 7 days. Let me see what it can do for me in 7 days. And at the end of the 7 days, you get back all your funds that you've given it. The deal is, though, for 7 days, you're looking at receiving a daily yield. Well, actually, what it is, Novamind will create a daily yield of 0.8%. This is what Novamind will give to 9M, 0.8%. So 9M will share this 0.8% with us. We actually get 45% of this daily yield. So Novamind, the computer, produces these daily yields, and 9M will share this daily yield with us. So if we're getting 45%, if we test it for 7 days, we're getting 0.36% a day. If we're a bit more adventurous and we go, actually, I like the idea of earning twice as much as that, 0.72. So I'm prepared to give my funds to Novamind, the computer, for 360 days. Let it work for 360 days, knowing very well that every single day I'm earning 0.72%. So that is just over 20% a month. So if you can imagine, if you put $1,000 into Novamind to work for you, you are making $200 a month. Very simple. And at the end of it, you get your $1,000 back as well. Very simple. So that's the first fund. Now, we also have a second fund. And again, it's a smart thing to do to make money from your money. And I'll run through this one very quickly because you'll see, again, it's a dual asset, no loss mining fund as well. And the assets, the dual assets this time are once again USDT, 70%, and the 30% will be USDM. And if you remember, you make USDM from the first fund. So we make our profit from the first fund, we use that profit into the second fund, we make money from our money. Very clever. And this is how the rich get richer. You use your money to make more money. The reward this time, though, is in our own token called 9MC. Now, this is a very, very special token because as 9M gets bigger and bigger around the world, this token will increase in value. So our goal is to accumulate as much of this token as we can because then we will become wealthier and wealthier. This token, when it started back in May, started at $1. I know I looked at it today, it's $1.80. So it's already gone up by 80%. And we're only 6 or so months old. I know that the goal for this type token is to hit $100. That's 100x. So from our point of view, the more of this token we can accumulate before it gets anywhere near $100, the better it is for us. So the terms for this stable fund, there's only 4 of them because you won't need the 7-day one now because now you'll know, you would have seen exactly how well this whole system works. And again, very similar. Novamind will produce these daily yields that it gives to 9M, and 9M shares that with us. We get 45% of that amount every single day. So the majority of my community like the idea of receiving 0.85% every single day, almost 1% a day on your funds. It's incredible. This actually works out as over 25% a month. 25% a month, $1,000. That's making you $250 a month in profit, which you can withdraw every single day, by the way. Very powerful. So those are the 2 funds that I want to share with you. And this slide just shows you again how it breaks down. So from the rewards that we get. So every single time we do a withdrawal, there's a 5% fee. This 5% fee is really important. That's how 9M make their profit every single day. Every single withdrawal from every single fund across the world, 5% goes to 9M. That pays for all their staff, that pays for everything, their offices, everything that they need to do comes to that 5%. I've said already that we get 45%, which is absolutely fantastic. Novamind does all the work, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We get 45% of all the work that Novamind is doing. That leaves a massive 50%. Every single day, 50% of all the rewards that are made are here. So what happens with that? Well, 9M do not use the TV to advertise or any of the expensive old ways of advertising. They have gone down the word of mouth route. It's cheaper and it's actually faster. They know that if we are happy with the results we're getting from Novamind, we will more than likely share this with other people. And if we do share this with other people, then we get a share of this pot that's accumulating every single day. And this is huge, huge. The first thing I must say about this rewards, though, is it's optional. You may be a person that goes, well, you know what, I don't want to share this with anybody. I just want to get my money working for me. I'm happy getting just over 20% a month on my money, and I'll build it up and go into the second fund to get over 25% on my rewards on the second fund as well. Happy days. If that's you, happy days, that's there for you. But 9M know that if they can incentivize us enough, we will share this with other people. And if we share this with other people, we earn even more, which is great. But again, it's optional. You don't have to. Now, for those that go, I like the sound of that 50%, I want to earn some of that, well, we have to qualify for that. It's not just given to anybody. So how do we qualify? All you need is to have at least one stake, one account, or one investment of $100. That's it. And all you need to do is to refer one person. That could be another family member. It could be a son, a daughter, a mother, father, anybody. You refer one person, you're now qualified to receive your share of that big 50% pot that's accumulating every single day. That big pot has got many, many different rewards within it. One of them is a referral bonus. When you're brand new, you can get up to 10% referral bonus. So you might introduce me, let's say, for an example. Let's say that Gary, who's on the call here, has introduced, he saw this presentation. He says, Colin, I need you to come and have a look at this powerful computer. Come and see what this is doing for people around the world. So I come on a presentation like this, I see this, I go, oh, okay, I'll have some of that. Gary gives me his link, I register, I put my money into NovaMind. It's making me money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever I earn every single day, 9M will reward Gary with a 10% match on whatever I get every single day. For as long as I'm making that reward every day, Gary will get that 10% every single day. That's powerful. As Gary moves through the ranks, this actually will reduce. But we don't need to go into all that right now. Now, what I also like about this is it's also I call this a career path. I want to see something where this can go on for years to come, not just 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And to have that, you do need a plan, right? And this is the plan. So here it is. Somebody could start in 9M. We all start as a VIP 0. Whether you start with one stake of $100 or you start with $100,000, makes no difference. You're still going to be what they call a VIP 0. Now, if you happen to share this with anybody, this computer is able to track exactly how people have joined 9M. And if it happens that they've joined because you've joined, you will then get rewarded. And this is the way it should be. For example, if I was to go into a restaurant and I had a really good meal, and I told my pal about that great restaurant, and he went to that restaurant and he had a great meal, that restaurant doesn't call me up and say, well done, Colin, for introducing your friend. Here's a 10% discount on your next meal. That doesn't happen. But what if my pal talks to his friend who also goes to that same restaurant? That restaurant has had 2 people going to that restaurant because of me, but I wouldn't get a reward. The beautiful thing about 9M here is that computer can track where everybody has joined 9M organically. And as they join 9M around the world, your group team volume or your organic volume from the people that have joined since you've joined will grow. As soon as it hits a certain target, 3,000, which is very, very quick, you're going to get rewarded with an additional 20%. This is massive. This is a reward that will come in every single day just because you shared it with a few people. This goes on. We've got 9 different ranks, 9 different career levels that we can get to. All you need to understand is VIP 0 is where we start. VIP 9 is the very highest one. Now, to give you an idea of the rewards that are available to all of us, if somebody was to share this and it just happens that they get all the way to VIP 3, this is only the third level up, and many people get there very, very quickly. And again, I must also stress there's no race here either. It could take you a year, it could take you 2 years, it makes no difference. But a VIP 3, you are looking at a reward of something like $100 per day, 7 days a week. So that's $700 a week in VIP rewards is what you're looking at as a VIP 3. That's £500 in the UK. So what could you do with an extra £500 in your part-time business that's global, that could be global? £500 a week extra. Now, what if somebody got halfway, VIP 5? Well, I know at this level, you're looking at something like $350 to $500 per day, 7 days a week. You do the maths on that. It's incredible. Now you're wondering what happens if somebody gets the VIP 9. There's no VIP 9s yet around the world. We're too new. But we've already been told that the income or the rewards that people are looking at VIP 9 are something like $24,000 to $30,000 per day. Now, if you're thinking that's absolutely impossible, just understand that we are not looking at a 9 to 5 pay per hour deal. This is a deal where you do the work once, you get paid over and over and over again. A bit like how an author gets paid, a bit like how a musician gets paid. We all know, or an actor, they do really, really well because they do the work once, they get paid over and over again. That's the kind of industry we're looking at here. And we can start wherever we fit in. There's no race to get to the very top. Now you're making all this money with 9M. What do you do with it? It's all crypto. So you need a way to actually spend that crypto. 9M have got a solution for that as well. We have our own Visa card. That means that you can put your crypto onto this Visa card and you can spend anywhere that accepts Visa around the world. Absolutely incredible. How easy to get started? Well, it's actually very, very easy to get started in 9M. All we need is an email address, a username, and a password. That's it. The person that shared this with you will happily give you their link so you can get yourself registered. It's free of charge to do. Once you've done that, you've only really going to have 2 questions. First question was, how much am I going to start with? Bear in mind, you can increase your stake at any time you wish. The minimum being $100, and there's no maximum. I do know of a person who's put in $500,000. He's doing very, very well. That computer is trading his $500,000 day in, day out. He's doing very, very well. In fact, number 2, how long isn't really a question, because the majority of people go, well, you know what? I like 0.72 every single day. I'll put it in for 360 days. Knowing very well you can withdraw your rewards every single day. The whole idea of 9M is to make your money work harder for you. That's the goal. So in doing that, what we've put together, one of our very clever team members who understands Excel spreadsheets has put together a really good spreadsheet which helps us just see what can actually happen if we just put a bit of energy and focus into 9M with our own money. So what I'm going to share with you now is what can happen without you sharing this with anybody. This is you just working your money for you, getting your money to work for you so you don't have to. That's the whole goal. And I'm assuming that we'll start with $250, which is £193 in the UK. The daily rate is about 0.72. Actually, yeah, the daily return that we're getting, the rewards we're getting is 0.72. I've already put today's date in as bonfire night in the UK, 5th of November. We know it takes 2 days for you to receive your first reward in your back office of 9M. So on the 7th of November, which will be on Friday, you would go into your back office, you'll see your first reward of $1.80, which is 72%, 0.72% of your $250, $1.80. And then every day, $1.80, $1.80, $1.80. After 59 days, you would have earned over $106. Now, this is a really crucial time now, 59 days, so on the 5th of January. You've got a decision to make. You can take out your 106 and go and spend it on groceries if you wish. Or the smart thing to do is take that 106, you lose 5%, so you'd have 101. Take that 101 and start your second stake. So now on the 5th of January, you've now got 2 stakes working for you. You've added 101 to your 250, meaning you've now got 2 stakes with a total value of $351. You've just given yourself a pay rise. Every day you're now making $2.53. So obviously what's going to happen now is going to get quicker for you to make another $100. It only takes another 42 days. 42 days after the 5th of January takes us to the 16th of February. And again, the smart thing to do with your 106 is withdraw it and restake it. Start your third stake. So you can see what's going to happen, the process here. As soon as we make $100, we restake. And we're going to use the same strategy that they use in the old system. I'm talking about your ISA, your savings plan, where you know you can't touch it for 12 months. But what I say is let's look at 2 years. 2 years could change everything for everybody with a bit of focus. So our income starts on the 7th of November 2025. We're going to restake as soon as we earn $100. And this will get faster and faster and faster to the point where you restake it every single day. But let's go down now to the 7th of November 2027 to see what's happened with our $250 that we started with. So 7th of November. There it is. So we start with $250. Our account, using this strategy, has grown to $29,565. We've accumulated now 216 stakes that are working for us every single day. We are making $212 every single day. So we're restaking every day. If we're happy with $216, 216 stakes that we've got working for us, we could very easily withdraw $6,386 every month, which is £4,900 every month. And all we do, we just maintain that 216 stakes. That is a serious pension for most people. Nearly £5,000 a month. Just because you were focused enough to keep restaking for 2 years. That's with a stake starting with $250. Now, you may be somebody looking at this thinking, well, you know what? I could actually start with more than $250. I could easily change my own circumstances by starting with $1,000. So let's look at what happens if somebody could afford to start with $1,000. If that's too high for you, stay with me, because you may know people that have $1,000 and go, I like the sound of that. Well, watch this. So with $1,000, you can see straight away on the 7th of November, your $1,000 at 0.72% is making you $7.20 every single day. So it only takes 15 days to earn over $100. You make 180 in fact. You lose 5%. And then you start your second stake on the 22nd of November. You've now got 1,103 now working for you. You're going to follow the same strategy for 2 years. You start with $1,000. So let's look at that now. So we're going to go down to the 7th of November, 2027. Oh, too far. Here it is. 7th of November, 2027. Following this strategy, you've accumulated 435 stakes. Brilliant. Your $1,000 account has grown to $138,724. You're making almost $1,000 a day. You start with 1,000, you're making 1,000 a day. If you're happy with 435 stakes, you don't want any more, you're now able to withdraw $30,000 a month, £23,000 a month. Now, I say that for most people, with $1,000 start is a life-changing amount of pension, of money. Now, you're probably looking at this thinking, well, you know what? I can't afford $1,000. I can't even afford $250. But I will get myself going with the minimum, which is $100. What can happen with $100? Remember, 9M want this to be in the hands of everybody. So then have an opportunity for everybody, as long as you can get yourself $100 together. So we know what happens with $1,000. In 2 years, you're looking at $30,000 a month when you get to 1,000. With $100, it's going to take you a year, or just around about a year, to get to $1,000. So in other words, it's going to take one extra year for you to be in the same position as somebody who starts with $1,000. That's why this is for everybody. You can see with $100, it's going to take 148 days for you to make $100. It's going to be slow, but slow still wins. If I go down to just over a year, you can see, so if we went to 7th of November 26, in fact, you can see it on the screen there. Actually, it's a bit further, end of November. We're looking at 1,000. So we're looking at by the end of the year, just before the end of the year. Someone starts today with $100. I know by the end of this year, you're looking at having $1,000 working for you. Then I know 2 years after that, so the end of 2028, you're looking at $30,000 a month that you've built up to, that you could withdraw without building a team, without sharing it with anybody, just using your $100 and following the system of restaking as soon as you earn $100. We are using the power of compounding to work for us. This is what the financial system has been doing against us for many, many, many years. We have an opportunity to change this. And this is it. This is what we have. So I'm now going to go back to the slides. So bear with me. Because really, there's not much more for me to share on 9M. You've seen how strong the company is. You've seen that I've told you that Chris Chang, he's visible around the world, which is really unusual. I've put these slides together to give you an idea of where he is, the cities where he's going to be going to. He's gone to at least 8 different cities throughout 2025, and we only started in May. He's going to be in Seoul, in Korea, early November. Next week, that'll be. At the end of the month, we're all going to meet him in Barcelona. Then early January, he's off to Vietnam. So this, again, just shows you that this isn't a company that's hiding in the background. It's there taking 9M to the world. So we're seeing this right at the beginning. I'm going to finish with this slide here. And it's quite a serious slide. I say to everybody that we have to stop funding these old financial institutions who only give us something like 1% per year on our savings. You have to ask yourself, are they making 1% a year? Or are they making way more than that? And where is it going? I tell you, it goes to the CEO who has a very, very big wage. It goes to all the traders that are making all these bonuses. It goes to the shareholders. And we get left with our 1% per year. I say to you, and it's not financial advice, but take a small chunk of that and say, right, I'm going to get that money working for me directly and start funding yourself. So that's the deal. That's what we're looking to do. So I thank you all for being on this call. I will stop the share now. 1 second. You can hear the fireworks going off on bonfire night. Come back to everybody. Welcome, everybody. Let me just stop the recording.